Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good morning. A lot earlier of a live stream, but I do possibly have another live stream happening later today. And so, yeah, I want to make sure that I'm able to do that one. So, this one, just kind of wanted to discuss Boost Infinite with you guys this morning. So, good morning to everybody and welcome in. We'll get things started here in another minute or so. Feel free to comment your thoughts, questions, emotional outbursts throughout the live stream. I don't mind at all whatsoever. Shout out to the Boost Infinite community on Facebook, the Facebook group that's, I am, basically I founded. So it's kind of funny though, because there's people that joined that group thinking that it, is owned and operated by Dish, and it's not. And I literally put on the name of the group that it is just it's not part of Dish Wireless at all whatsoever. They don't own and operate it. As a matter of fact, I'll bring them on the screen in just a little bit. So, how you guys doing this morning, by the way? There we go. Got the group page up. Currently, right now, the group page is sitting at 1.4 thousand members. So big shouts out to everybody. Shout out to my mods on there too. They're doing a great job holding it down. Shout out to my group experts. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Just replying and commenting to people's posts. And this is where I get my sources from. For those that want to know, this is where I get my sources for like things that I discuss about Boost Infinite and how it's impacting customers. But if you are joining the live stream and you guys want to help out the channel, right there's a QR code. You guys can definitely use that at your disposal. Anything helps. Smashing the like button, sharing the live stream also greatly helps too as well. I would definitely appreciate that. The reason I'm telling you guys that is because I'm moving it out the way, but the QR code should remain like right there. If anyone wants to do so. But anyways, welcome in and good morning. So there's talks of Boost Infinite basically being rebranded as Boost Mobile, kind of keeping the same Boost logo as far as the word Boost. And for like the reason I wanted to discuss this is because for such a long time, there have been people that literally was just stating that all they had to do was do a rebrand and that could fix the brand in itself. I'm not so sure how that's going to work out. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to do all point of views and everything. But yeah, definitely. So, just kind of kick the tires and light the fires and get things rolling. Let's see. I'm using Mozilla Foxfire, so it's a little bit of a different web, like a web browser type thing. But anyways, here we go. So Boost Infinite website, right? And just to make sure that it's doing the whole screen. Yeah, this is okay. I gotta get used to Foxfire as a browser. I decided to use that as my browser on my PC. But anyways, Boost Infinite has come a long way from what it originally started as. So just kind of be quite honest with everybody. Boost Infinite is the fourth carrier. It is not a prepaid brand. It is not a fly-by-night brand. It is the fourth carrier. In order for T-Mobile and Sprint to have that merger go through, of course, the FCC didn't want it to be a three-way competition. They wanted a fourth player. Dish owned Spectrum And so it was either they forfeit the spectrum that they've owned for a while, or they actually put it into use. Plus, two, me being, a former person that worked for the company, access to internal stuff. Basically, in a nutshell, which, this is not breaking any rules or giving away any trade secrets or anything like that. But, Dish Wireless TV, or basically just Dish TV, their streaming, service Sling TV. Dish knows that those aren't viable options for them to continue to make money on, as everything is moving to a platform where, you have Netflix and Hulu and Tubi TV and all these different ones, right? Sling TV is to compete against that, but Dish is pretty well aware that, that's not the only way that they can actually make money and whatnot. So the wireless industry, for the fact that they had the spectrum that they needed to actually launch a network, pretty much they put into play. So good morning, Michael. How's it going? Anyway, so this is their website. For those that are not familiar with them or just want to know a little bit more about it. iPhone 15 on us, infinite access for iPhone, $60 per line per month. That just literally gives you all these perks right here. Unlimited talk, text. The data is not truly unlimited high speed, but it is unlimited, that they don't shut off your data connection once you've used your allotted high speed amount. Just gotta clarify that. But yeah, you get that. On the AT&T side, it's 30 gigs of high speed data, and then you're slowed down after that. On the T-Mobile side, it's 35 gigs, and then you're slowed down for the rest of your build cycle. On the native Dish network, the Dish 5G, judging from Sneed mobile text videos and such, I believe it's 100 gigs, and then you're slowed down. But unparalleled connectivity delivered on next generation technology. That's because Dish's 5G is built on the Open RAN system, and customizable finances intact. So that is the infinite access for iPhone. Basically, what it is you get the perks of the $25 plan. You get a few of their add-ons already added on into that plan. On top of that, getting an iPhone 15, and you get a new iPhone every year. So, good morning, Sneed. What's up, man? Right. So, same kind of thing, kind of applies with the infinite access for Galaxy. What did I say? Gallery. For Galaxy, in this sense, it's just $800 off. And then they got the bring your own device plan, $25, price guaranteed for life. And I love how they use that verbiage, guaranteed. Just because of recent activities, but they got a lot of good things going for them. Their network, depending on where you are, seems to work pretty decently. I love how they put this here too. Access to over 2 times the towers. And you see the little pink, tower emphasizing T-Mobile towers, the blue emphasizing AT&T, and then their primary, which is their native Dish 5G. You got the 30-day guarantee. Try it out for 30 days. Cancel on the 25th day. Just want to give a heads up to people. Cancel on the 25th day, because if you cancel on the 30th day, you will get billed, right? So to be on the safe side, you should be able to know if their connection and everything is going to be good for you within like the first 14 days of using it. So by then, you should be able to make up your mind if you're going to stay with Boost Infinite or if you're going to cancel with them. I would definitely say this, because they don't have the early infinite access beta, plan anymore. Those that have it still have it, and they're keeping it. Those that don't have it, you can never get that again. So I wouldn't worry too much. But if you actually want to try out Boost Infinite, but you don't want to lose your mobile number because of the horrible stories you've heard about porting to Boost Infinite, might I suggest that if you're going to try it out for 30 days, just get an entirely new number. And if you feel like that this is where you want to be at, this is what the company you want to stick with, then add a line, port your number over, and cancel the line that you created to test it out. And yeah, unless you want to keep that as a secondary line, you can. But anyways, for the most part, not too much to it, right? But the problem and the reason why that I'm saying that, will a rebrand actually help, Boost Infinite or Dish Wireless just in general? It's because, for the longest time on different platforms like Reddit, on the group that I run on Facebook, That's one of the things that people have made mention. Like they're like, maybe they should rebrand it to, Infinite, Infinite Wireless or Infinite Mobile. People have their, their talks and their concerns about, what technically they should do as a rebrand. Now, rumor has it, and it's pretty much being pointed up that it's going to be called Boost Mobile. Why? It's because the name Boost Mobile is synonymous with, mobile phones in the mobile industry for such a really long time. Boost Mobile has been around even before it was a part of the Sprint portfolio. So, we know it to be a prepaid company. We know it from the early glory days of the Where You At campaign and the Chirp Action and, just all that, right? I mean, Boost Mobile was really and heavily involved in the extreme sports industry, right? Peter Adderton, who is a big lover of, just extreme sports in itself, and and racing and stuff like that. Obviously, his brand, because he was the founder of Boost Mobile, especially Boost Mobile US. He still owns and operates Boost Mobile Australia, as well as he is the founder, and he runs Mobile X and former owner of Amp Mobile from back in the day, right? Just to name a few of his accolades. And so the Boost brand has always been synonymous, with you know prepaid mobile phone service and extreme sports. Um, Funny enough, is the fact is that the actual Boost Mobile logo, the one that was during the days of his reign, and even afterwards when Sprint kind of took over and bought Boost Mobile, the logos was actually supposed to represent like ramps, like skateboard ramps. That's what it was supposed to kind of resemble. So, anyways, it's well known. Been something that like everyone knows. It's like one of the pillars in prepaid, right? You think prepaid, you think prepaid wireless, you think Metro PCS, it's mobile. Um, so they've been around for a very long time, and I think that that's what Dish is counting on, is the fact that everyone knows what Boost Mobile is. Now, a lot of people will say like, well, Boost Mobile has a very tarnished name, right? Like through the Sprint era, Sprint really, started to destroy the brand in and itself. And then after the merger, it was like, Boost Mobile just was like the redheaded stepchild that nobody wanted, right? It was like floating off in limbo. I mean, T-Mobile didn't want them. They did not want to acquire them at all. During the deal, the deal was only for Sprint to get, Sprint's network, to get their spectrum. They didn't care to take Boost Mobile and merge it into Metro, which, a lot of people did fear. I mean, there was heavy fear about that, a long time ago. That was one of the fears that I had when I was, a Boost Mobile customer. I was always wondering, like, with this merger, would it come into play that they would take Boost Mobile and merge them into Metro? But that didn't happen, and Dish ended up acquiring Boost Mobile, which, thank you, Dish, for doing that. They could have left Boost Mobile to its fate, but instead they try to take something that had already had years of punishment, nearly defeated, and decided to take on the task. Of course, in the earlier days, we could tell that Dish wasn't too keen on Boost Mobile. They didn't really care all too much, and so there lies the problem. So, throughout this time, since Dish launched its postpaid service, good morning, Nian Dang, good morning, Bobby Warren, good morning, welcome in. But we know for the fact that, they were focused on postpaid, right? Like Dish is focused on money. They see money, right? And, as much as, we as consumers can go on and on and on about, businesses and money and stuff like that, and we can't deny the fact that that's what a business does. A business is trying to make money. At the end of the day, that's their whole purpose, is to do that. So Boost Infinite launched, and it was such a crazy thing. It was such a crazy thing. I mean, I've shared with a lot of you guys, my experience when I worked for them as a senior level 4 care rep. And some of most of the stuff that you guys have heard me have all been the things that I've had a problem with them. But I don't want to leave this lasting impression that I hate the company. I don't. That's furthest from the truth, because there was a lot of fun that I had working at been working for Dish on the Boost Infinite project. Doing customer care, answering calls, troubleshooting people's issues, and activating new lines of service, and trying to provide the best concierge service is what they called it. You would order a SIM card from Boost Infinite. You would get an email that you would be contacted by a rep to make sure that your activation process goes smoothly. And then, that call would actually come from me and people on my team. We would call, we would see if you got your SIM card in the mail yet. If you did, we would see if you needed any assistance activating your services. If you're, well versed, in the whole telco thing and you know how to activate a phone, you don't need help. Then we would just make sure that everything is good. And, we would even offer our assistants to stay on the phone call with you until your phone is actively activated and working. That way, if something went wrong, you didn't have to call in and wait to talk to a rep. You would already have me on the phone. And the job was cool because in the meantime, while, I was waiting for, customers to activate their phones and everything like that, I could make small talk with them. I could talk about, things that are going on and where they're from. I can talk to them about, vacation hopes and dreams. Anything under the sun didn't matter. Like Boost Infinite didn't really care how long their care reps were on the phone. But those were the days when, Boost Infinite was very small. And I tell you guys, like it was really small. I can tell that there was a small amount of users, beginning of 2023, just because, the time in between calls was like sometimes 25 to 45 minutes. So I'd be sitting here just waiting for a call because we did operate remote. And, so I'd be like waiting for a call. That was my day pretty much, right? Like in one day, 8 hours work, including an hour lunch. I think maybe on a best day, which I would call busy back in the day, I would say 7 customers. 7 customers I would have spoken to the entire day. Very slow day, 3 customers, which then they implemented the fact of us working like, tickets, like troubleshooting tickets that were submitted, activation issues, tickets that were submitted. They would start having us work that in between calls. It was a lot of fun working for Boost Infinite. I had fun there. Just some of the business etiquette and practice, I really had a problem with. But, at the same time too, I'm no guru when it comes to it, right? Like I don't have all the answers to, call center, customer service type work. So, I'm no saint. So sometimes, I get so passionate about something that I enjoy doing that I end up putting my own head up my ass and forgetting that, hey, you know what? Like, it is what it is, Would I go back to work for them? If they change their practices, yeah, I would. And one of the main practices is that supervisors need to be at hand in case. A supervisory role is very important in the call center, not because they tell the team what to do. I've never been that type of supervisor to sit there and think that I'm above, my team and that I could just sit there and judge them on their calls and coach them on their calls. But no, I'm always the person that leads by example. So I would be the type of supervisor that would take phone calls from customers, jump in there too, and just do everything that I can to provide the absolute best service that can be offered possible. So that was my thing. But that was the glory days in Boost Infinite call center. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that because I know over past live streams, I've always spoken and it's always been such a negative view that I'm spewing out that I didn't want people to get the wrong idea. There are some things that Boost Infinite needs to change. Rebranding to Boost Mobile, I don't know if that's going to work for them. And it's not because the Boost Mobile name is so tarnished and everything like that. I mean, it kind of makes sense because there was always some massive confusion. Every time, that I would get, phone calls and people would be like, yelling, service not working. They're doing this, they're getting this hotspot, stuff like that. And everything is matching up to Boost Mobile prepaid. And then come to find out they are a prepaid customer. And then they would yell at me when I would try to explain that to them. That was like the hardest thing to explain to people was that Boost Infinite was 1, postpaid, and 2, it was the 4th carrier. They didn't understand that because again, the name Boost is so synonymous in the telco industry that everyone knows it for prepaid. So I couldn't blame people. It was just, people didn't have to get so damn sideways with me about it. But I digress from that. So calling it Boost Infinite, I can kind of understand where Dish was going with that, right? Like they wanted people to see the difference, right? They wanted to differentiate their postpaid from their prepaid. The prepaid was going to be called Boost Mobile, and postpaid was going to be called Boost Infinite. But not a lot of people take to that very easily. Some people thought that Boost Mobile just changed their name to Boost Infinite. Other people thought that Boost Infinite was like an elite, you know, price plans for prepaid, which I thought was funny. I thought it was funny. Anyways, you know, Dish is trying, right? Like we can always poke at them. Their 5G sucks, it's super slow, or whatever the case may be. But they are trying. They are actively trying on that front. You know, I think our expectations, you know, sometimes we have it so skewed to an exact point where we think that, you know, because Verizon, you know, operates this way, we expect something that is not even 10 years old to operate the same way. Verizon's been around for years. They were around when shit. I mean, the first time I ever heard of Verizon was when I was 21 years old. Okay, that's damn near 20 years ago, and they weren't brand new to the market. They weren't fresh off the cakes out of the oven. You know, they had time. So for Dish to kind of come in and people will be like, well, Dish should be able to understand this because, you know, they've been around for so many years. Yeah, operating fucking satellite TV. Okay, satellite TV and mobile phones, while similar in some cases, is not identical. So the process behind all of it is going to be absolutely different. It's going to be absolutely different. And, you know, I don't expect them to always get things right. But they are trying. They are trying. I will give them that. They are trying. For the possibility of them rebranding the company to Boost Mobile and literally just having like postpaid, prepaid, I can kind of see where they're going with that too. When you look at the other MNOs, right? You have AT&T, of course. People will, you know, when you think AT&T prepaid to that, people's first thing is Cricket. When you say T-Mobile prepaid, first thing that people say is Metro by T-Mobile. But in fact, that's not it, right? There's T-Mobile prepaid, there's T-Mobile postpaid, there's AT&T prepaid, there's AT&T postpaid, there's Verizon prepaid, there's Verizon postpaid. So same name, same moniker, all the way around. And so I see that that's where Dish is kind of going with this, right? If they were to rebrand it, if that is exactly what they're going to rebrand it as, is Boost Mobile, then yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Boost Mobile prepaid, Boost Mobile postpaid. And, you know, hopefully that works out for them. Hopefully it works out for them, you know. I'm thinking about getting cocked at my new house. That's good. Glad you're considering that. Hopefully it works out for you. If you go to work for a Boost Dish, some rules in the company needs to change first. Satellite business is different from something. So what rules would you say needs to change first? Like, give me an example of what rules need to change. Anyways, so what you guys have been looking at this entire time that I've been ranting here is the Facebook group that, you know, I founded, and it's being operated by myself and several others. Shout out to Titus. He's not here this morning in the chat, but shout out to him. He is one of my mods. I have my sister as one of my admins and my wife as one of my admins. So the three of us pretty much run it. I have my moderators who really do majority of the work. And I have my group experts who are awesome at just welcoming new people to the group page and answering any questions, or just, you know, creating conversations for people to join into so everyone has a discussion on several things, right? But this is where I get most of what's kind of going on with Boost Infinite, the issues at hand and everything like that. It's through this group. I mean, you have a lot of people here that's like posting and stuff like that. And I will be first to say that, you know, people that have a great experience, you won't see a lot of them. And it's not because they don't exist, it's because they have nothing to bitch about. So why are they gonna take to social media to type out something, you know? They have no problems with their service. They go on about their life. Those that have a problem will voice their opinions, obviously, because they're trying to get help. Like this person who, pretty much typed out SIM card issues. Well, Boost Infinite resolved the SIM card issues. So many go bad, 3 in less than a year. And on Reddit, I see it's quite a common issue. Why haven't they fixed it yet? That's a good question. I'll leave that for Dish to answer. Why haven't they fixed this? I can say that this doesn't apply to everybody, right? When I signed up for Boost Infinite and had the early Infinite Access plan, my SIM card never really went bad. My wife still has her original SIM card from December 2022, right? So that's over a year already, and her SIM hasn't gone bad. And we switched it out through multiple devices. It's gone from one device to another device to another device. It's, employers should not be allowed to monitor employees' YouTube channels or what they do as content creators. That's a little bit different, right? Because every company monitors your social media. Like, you may not be a YouTuber, you may have Facebook, but you post one thing about the company you work for and they catch it, they will. Every company has that. And that's just because one of the things, since we have access to social media, that means that information is easier to spread. And the one thing that companies don't want is they don't want employees to leak out info, right? Like if I was to create a YouTube video talking about a partnership agreement that, Dish decided to create, let's say for argument's sake, Dish actually snuck in there and is going to buy US Cellular, okay? And I work for the company. They don't want me to post on social media that, hey, it's been gossiped throughout the company that looks like a Dish is going to buy US Cellular, because they don't want competitors to know about it. So there's levels to agreement, but I know exactly what you're saying. You're actually defending on what they did to me, where they found my YouTube channel and they forced me to take down like every video that I've had, even videos before they owned Boost Mobile, they had me take down. And yeah, that was pretty stupid for them to do that. And if they had taken the time to actually watch any of my content, they would have realized that that I'm a big backer of the Boost brand. So it would have been more in favor for them to keep my videos and live streams up. Then yeah, they treated me like a criminal. So I know where you're going with that. Yeah, there should be a better way to approach it. Most people today try to be social media influencers and content creators, right? That's like the norms nowadays. Whereas like 10, 15 years ago, being a YouTuber was like up there. It's not even that anymore. Everyone can have a YouTube channel. Everyone can just open a YouTube channel and post content and stuff like that on there. It's not a very hard thing to do. So yeah, they should have something better in place, just in case they have a content creator work for them. I really love passion fruit. It is the best juice in the morning. But yeah, this issue right here, SIM cards failing, SIM cards being fried. I don't know what causes that. I really don't. I'm going to go out on a whim and say that if you're somebody that gets a Boost Infinite SIM card and it fries, you get another one and it fries, and then you get another one and that fries too. Could be your phone, or shit, I don't know. It could be the towers in your area. Like, exactly how hard is the phone and the SIM card being overworked? Who knows? But as you guys can see, my moderators are inside there doing their thing. Got Joe over here who responded. He says, I've had the same since early access. I've been working fine on my S22. My eSIM is used by Helium Mobile. What SIM do you have? Is it the Rainbow SIM? So, they go in there to try to help out. Of course, I shared recent speed tests and stuff like that, and got other people that like chime in and kind of just share, like what their speed tests are like. Wow, 39.2 on the down, 2.15 on the uplink. They must have this. We go on a whim and say that they actually have just a regular, the actual, Dish. No, I do not want to enter full screen mode. Get that out the way. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. This person, rising contributor. I regret getting the Samsung 24. I wish I could have had the iPhone instead. I have to pay off the phone before they will let me switch. Sucks. I mean, that's the way that it goes, right? You get a phone and you finance it. Of course, you got to pay it off before you can switch to something else. But you can always open up another line and get the iPhone. Do a SIM swap. Of course, I set the monthly rule reminders, for people to quickly um, remember the rules, so there's no fighting allowed in the group page. No idiot stuff like that to auto ban. This person shared the screen grab and just sent off this email. That's funny. Please cancel this account. Yeah, there's people who have stated they canceled their account with Boost Infinite, and the account seems to still be open. Yeah, there's all kinds of people just posting all kinds of questions, getting thoughts. Um, so Bergranta's in there. Donald, you guys don't know who that is. He's in there. For a time, Mike Kelly was actually. I don't know if he's still following the group. He might not be anymore. Let's go to the members. I'm gonna search him and see if he's still in there. There's a couple of people that work for the company that's in here. As you guys can see off to the right, the about section. No, I don't want to create a post. Oh man, I can address everybody, but no. Newest members of the week. Yeah. There we go. Let's see if he's still in here. All right. Right here. No post, no nothing. Hasn't posted anything. And this will show like the group posts. Like any activity he's had on my group would show right here. I'm not gonna open up his actual profile. But I mean you guys can see the profile pic. So if you guys want to know if it's really him or not, go to Facebook and search up Mike Kelly and then find this profile picture, and then you found this page. But apparently this is supposed to be Mike Kelly, former head of the Boost Infinite, Boost Mobile, who's no longer on top of that, right? He's another person that thought he can take Boost Infinite and Boost Mobile and launch it to new heights, and then ended up, failing miserably. But when people told me that he was in there, and like I looked at his profile at first, I was just like, no, like why would a person like that, be following the group? And it kind of made sense, right? Like he would follow the group because obviously it had to do with Boost Infinite, and they wanted to see what discussions were going on in the group. So that definitely. But yeah, the group is pretty active. If you guys want to join it, let me copy the link. I'll put it in the chat. What's up, everyone? What's up to you, man? There you go. That is a link to the group page. If you guys want to join it, join it. All my mods are pretty good in there, so shout out to them again. And yeah, so how many of you guys, actually use Boost Infinite or Boost Mobile, right? there's not really much of a difference between them when it comes to the $25 plan. When you look at all the plans that they have, I mean, that's really all the plans that they have right there. The infinite access for iPhone for $60, infinite access for Galaxy $60, and then bring your own device $25 per month. And you know what plan's not there anymore? The older iPhone plan they had that was, I think it was like what, $50 for that one. You got an iPhone 14 on them, and yeah, it had some of the perks. Almost pretty much identical to the infinite access for iPhone plan. Just, you don't get you don't get an iPhone every year by, surrendering your older iPhone for a new iPhone. But that plan's no longer advertised, 'cause I'm sure they moved a lot of people that were on that plan off over to the infinite access for iPhone plan. But yeah, you're paying more than double the amount of what the bring your own device plan is. And they don't really go too much on the perks. All too much. Global roaming is now available. Learn more. So you have that. Let's look at the phones that they have. I'm just curious. I haven't really snooped through the Boost Infinite website in a while. He hasn't said anything about when we're doing another live stream, so I'm not sure. I know. And which channel are you referencing to? Like the wrestling podcast? We talked about it the other day on his live stream, and he didn't message me and tell me when he's thinking about doing one. So I don't know. If you're talking about a collaboration on a tech subject or whatever, that we never really planned those. That's just like spontaneously happens. He'll do a live stream, and then that's why you always, I don't know if you always caught it, but every time that I pop in on BTech's live stream and he gives me a shout out when he sees I'm in the chat. I don't know if you guys ever catch it, but he always says like, "Hey man, if you want to join me, let me know. I'll send you a link." He always says that because we never really plan when we're going to collaborate. We just do it if one appears on the other one's live stream in the chat. Like when Latrell goes in, he'll offer Latrell a link to come in and chat with him. So we're open to collaborations. Like even right now, BTech was in here and he was like, "Hey, let me get in on this." I'll shoot him a link. Like the last live stream that I did where Sneed jumped on and we had that conversation, that wasn't planned. Sneed posted in the chat, like, send me a link. He wants to talk about the whole thing with like, T-Mobile and Metro by T-Mobile. So I sent him a link and he joined in. Wrestling, tech, mobile, video games. Yeah, me and BTech don't plan our collaborations. We just do it. So it's one of those things. It's like Halley's Comet. And this is why, like I say, like, when we go live, if you have the time to watch, like, don't miss our live streams, right? Like, if you're not busy, if you're not working, if you're not in school, and, you have downtime, join on the live stream because you just never know what's going to happen. It's like Halley's Comet. But once you miss it, you fucking missed out. Simple as that. I can see that dish is very they emphasize more on the Apple side of things, but also Samsung Galaxy. Look at that, the Moto Edge 2023 0 down today, $10 a month for 36 months. Jeez, that's 3 years. 3 years to pay that out. And of course, they have the Moto G Stylus 2023, 0 down, $7.50 a month for 36 months to own it. And the Edge Plus 2023, 0 down. So they got the Edge 2023 and then the Edge Plus, which I guess is more flagship. And look at that, they got a page 2 now. I'm really not trying to diss them. We watch the streams, yeah. I'm really not trying to diss them, but I really do. Actually, I'm really debating if I'm just going to buy out probably the Solero 5G Plus 2024 model and try that phone out. I've heard good things about it, even though, I don't know if WingTech still manufactures the Solero, but I think they do. I don't really give a shit about the design or like, oh, look at the cameras and how I don't really give a shit about that, but I just want to know how well it performs. I've heard people say that it performs really good and whatnot. So, I mean, it would never hurt to try. One thing that I do know that Boost Infinite really needs to start doing is opening up eSIM activations for Android devices. That's one of the things that they sorely lack. They've been saying since July 2023 that that was one of their goals, was to get Android supported for eSIM activations, and it's like it still ain't fucking here yet. You know, I tried. I yesterday when I activated that line on my iPhone 12. Before I tried the iPhone 12, I was trying to see like is eSIM possible for it. I was going to activate it on my Pixel 6a. They were like, nope, it's not available yet. So I was like, okay, well then let's just do my iPhone 12. So I didn't want to wait for another SIM card to get mailed out to me, and I don't have any more SIM cards that I can burn. I've used them all already. When I had my kids on Boost Infinite and everything like that, like the SIM cards that I had, I used them, burned them. So yeah, they're no longer accessible to work. And that's one thing about Boost Infinite SIM cards; they're not reusable. So if you've already activated it once on there, you can't use it again to reactivate the same phone number or even a new line to it. Google Fi has that crown. That's one thing I like about Google Fi, is that you can reuse a SIM card, a Google Fi SIM card, so long as the previous line or the previous account that was attached to that SIM card, like there's no outstanding debt on it and everything's been cleared out and closed out. Then yeah, you can reuse a Google Fi SIM card. Metro, you can reuse their SIM cards also as well. So that's a cool thing though. But Boost Infinite, you can't. But yeah, I'm interested in the Solero 5G Plus. There's a Solero. Actually, you know what? Like I wouldn't actually mind getting the Solero model. And because of my fallout with Dish and everything when I worked for them and all the stuff that they said and whatnot. So technically, I'm not part of the Boost partnership program. So yes, I'm officially kicked out of that group because Dish Corp came down on it. That when they discovered my channel, discovered all those things, the videos I made and whatnot. And literally was like fucking detectives about how did I get the Solero phone? How did I get it? Who sent it to me? They wanted emails. They wanted correspondences and everything like that. They literally, I guess, reached out to that person because I emailed that person. And usually the person that's head over the Boost partnership program, where they send out Boost mobile devices like the Solero to content creators to make videos on, he's usually really good at responding back when I email him. And I emailed him the last time because I wanted to get one of these two devices to do a review on, and I got zero response. So yeah, I'm no longer part of that program, which is fine. Titus, one of my mods from the Boost Infinite group page. Yeah, he is one of my moderators for the group page on Facebook that I showed you guys. So big shout out to Titus. Glad to have you here, buddy. Let's see. I heard that Verizon is joining AT&T and T-Mobile in the race to launch cell phone to satellite service. Yeah, Snade's been talking about that. If you missed him, go check back on some of Sneed's live streams. He was talking about it. He was talking about T-Mobile's partnership with Starlink. Carlos, was testing it out. He actually went out into the boonies and tested out, connectivity to a satellite. Yeah, they're all doing that. They're all kind of going that route. Interesting to see where it goes in the future. Wow. I should tell my wife about this because she really wanted the Motorola Razr. If she's able to finance it, it's $0 down, $10 a month, or it's $360 for the phone. I hope it's not this Coach Prime tramp stamp version. I don't mean to be mean about it, but yeah. Well, I mean, if that's all they really had, she can still get that. We'll just buy a skin for the phone, and I'll skin it for her. Cause I don't know, like I get they wanted like a limited edition color to represent a person that's pushing the Boost brand is fine, but like putting a tramp stamp on a phone, Coach Prime Edition, that just sounds ridiculous. I mean, for his phone, they should have that on there, right? Because that's who he is. He's a motivational speaker. To have his phone with his name on it would be pretty dope and a good thing. Good business relationship between him and Dish. But to have all the Moto Razrs sold through them have his name on it, just It's just weird, in my opinion. I don't like tramp stamp phones, so that's just me. Okay, so the hotspot data that Boost gives you, when you add on hotspot, it allows you to use your 30 gigs that you normally have. So basically, you pretty much govern like how much. So you'll get 30 gigs. You get access to 30 gigs of hotspot. But let's say if you use all 30 gigs for hotspot use, then you have no more 30 gigs of high-speed data for your phone to use. So you can always like put that in half. If you're not a big data user, you can always half that. 15 gigs for your phone, 15 gigs for your hotspot. You just have to govern and calculate it yourself. There's no threshold. There's no thing that you can set for you or usage-wise. So on their prepaid Boost Mobile, they offer hotspots separately from your actual mobile phone data. But on Boost Infinite, they don't do that to a degree. I mean, if you're on the, well, you can't get on the early Infinite Access plan. That's already said and done with. So back then, the early Infinite Access gave you 5 gigs of hotspot. And then, of course, that was separate from your 30 gigs of mobile data. But yeah, now it's just an add-on that allows you to use your native mobile data as hotspot if you need to use it. And it's like $10 a month. So not kind of like, how Mobile X is customizable, but I guess you could say the way that like Boost Infinite is customizable, because if all you want is just, talk, text, and data, you're only going to pay $25 for that. Now, if you want, hotspot, you'll pay $10 extra. If you want to add on an additional 10 gigs of high-speed data, you're going to pay $10 extra. So, instead of like on AT&T side, instead of having 30 gigs, you'll have 40 gigs for $35 a month. On the T-Mobile side, they give you an additional 20 gigs. So you get 35 gigs, and if you add the speed pass, that bumps you from 35 to 55 gigs. That's just the agreements that they have with T-Mobile and with AT&T. So don't blame them for it. And that's all the phones they have. Yeah, Galaxy A25, A15, Galaxy A35, and Solaris. So like a lot of the mid-range devices right here. And a lot of their flagship devices, like, sorry, I'm so tired. But like iPhone 15, iPhone 14, you'll find them here. Galaxy S24s, you'll find them here. And the Moto Edges, iPhone 14. So they don't have like a large catalog of mobile phones. That's totally fine if they don't. That is true. And like, what was it? Like 5 years ago, Apple even had like this idea. They wanted to have their iPhones connect to satellite. This is why it came to be. Because initially, rumor had it like 5 years ago that Apple actually wanted to enter the telco ring. Like, how Google had Google Fi, but Google Fi was, Google didn't have their own network, so they relied on Sprint, and then relied on T-Mobile and US Cellular, and now they're just relying on T-Mobile. Apple wanted to jump in too, but they didn't want to do what Google did. They didn't want to piggyback off on MNO's network, so they actually wanted to have service and stuff provided beamed by satellite to your phone. And of course, when you see like the demo of like what they, like what Carlos did when he tested out connecting to a satellite. Right now, with the technology, it's not viable to have the type of service that you have with regular cell towers, right? Maybe in the future they will have an antenna that's powerful enough to receive, a signal from a satellite for internet, just have it beam directly to the phone. But right now is not that time. I don't think they have a modem that's capable of transmitting that capacity of data from a satellite. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they already have it, and it's like maybe it's government contracted and unlocked, and it hasn't, hasn't been declassified to use publicly. We'll never know. We'll have to see. But no, I'm good with my iPhone 12 though. But it's tempting to maybe want to go to an iPhone 15 or even an iPhone 14. Like my older sister has an iPhone 14 Pro. She likes that phone. She feels no reason to go to an iPhone 15. So I'm just like, it is what it is type thing. Not worried about it all too much anymore. Um, but yeah, absolutely crazy. So Boost has a lot of ground to cover. It does. And reconfiguring and calling it Boost Mobile, I mean that's like half the battle. That is half the battle that Dish has to worry about. What they really do need to worry about are all the complaints that are coming in regarding those major top ones. Number porting failing or ghosting, basically. Disappearing data, right? Data that hasn't been used by a customer but obviously disappears and begins to hard throttle a customer. That SIM card being burned frequently. Um, those types of things. They really need to kind of like focus on that and continue to focus on building out their towers, their network, and optimizing that network to provide a good experience. 'Cause there's people that are on the dish native 5G and they just why Boost doesn't do free phones. Um, I'm not sure why. Most companies are really kind of going for making money, right? Like you look at Metro and their flex plans, and you know their flex plans give well, I think you can get a free phone from Metro. I can say for Boost, they don't have the money. You know what I mean? Like as far as I know from internal sources with Boost Infinite, Dish is still not making profit from Boost Infinite. Not yet. Right? Are they breaking even? What amount of money they're putting into Boost Infinite they're getting back? Not quite yet either. Right? So they're still in a way kind of losing money. Okay, they're really trying to get this to take off because they really need to make money. So offering free phones just doesn't really cut the mustard. Because a lot of people abuse that, right? A lot of people abuse it. There are people that will, like if there's a free phone offered from Boost Mobile, they will go in and they will get that promo for the free phone. And they're not gonna wait for a year to get the phone unlocked. And you got like all these other services like the unlocker that will unlock the SIM for they'll basically find a way to unlock the phone from network restrictions so you can use it on a different network. A lot of people take advantage of that. It's kind of like why Mobile X charges a $1.98 fee if you sign up for Mobile X, whether you're going to do the 10-day trial or you're going to pick a plan from the very beginning. There's a $1.98 charge. And that's because people would literally sign up for Mobile X just to get a phone number so they can use that phone number to port to get, a port, like a port promo. My wife made it to work. Like I can tell you guys right now, like me take the iPhone 12 off Wi-Fi, and then I'll run a speed test for you guys right now. But I can tell you guys that the AT&T side has gotten better. I posted up on Twix. It's my name for X. But okay, so we're gonna use the coverage map app and run a speed test on there. You guys can hear the interference from the. So I wasn't getting this before, 6 months ago, it was like getting maybe like 150 on the down. Now I'm getting like twice the amount of downlink. and I'm getting twice the amount of uplink. Because before it used to only be like 2 to 5 megabits per second. Now it's getting to 10. Um, so AT&T making strides in my city to do better. I'll run one more test. I'll do it on Ookla. You guys see it is boost. Try not to have any glare. And there we go. So it's doing much better than what it did before on N77 here. So I gotta give it up to them. Almost 400. We crossed 400 on the down. The uplink is what's the uplink is just whoa. Yeah, 414 down and 9.59 on the up. They really need to work on that uplink. That uplink is. Anyways, let me kick back on Wi-Fi. So yeah, this phone has 2 services on it. It's got Boost Infinite and it's got Helium Mobile. Helium Mobile is my primary line. Boost Infinite is my secondary line. So like the iMessage and all that stuff goes to my Helium Mobile number because people have that number. That's what I use. And I just use the Boost Infinite SIM just for data connection where T-Mobile is bad. I created my own, if you want to say per se. I've created my own smart switch on Boost Infinite, if you want to say that. Because, yeah, Helium uses T-Mobile's network. My Boost Infinite eSIM uses AT&T network. And then on my Pixel 6a has my primary SIM, and that is the whole Metro by T-Mobile is on this one. So that's one phone I don't have to worry about having Wi-Fi on it. And then my Pixel 6 is around here somewhere. I don't have it on my desk, but that one has Visible on it and Mobile X. So those are the lines that I currently am running right now. Yeah, so before I call it to the end of the stream, I got about 2 minutes left. I usually do run for about an hour. Any thoughts? You can get free phones, but it has to be on their $60 plan. Well, I mean, yeah, but you also have to have like really good credit. And that's on Boost Infinite. On Boost Mobile, I don't know. I think Boost Mobile has. I think, but with Boost Mobile, you have to choose the $60 plan. But right now, Boost Mobile is running a promo. So this is Boost Mobile prepaid. Get 1 month of unlimited data for $12.50. Plus, you got to buy the SIM kit. That's $10. So literally, you're still paying close to $25. So Boost Mobile has a 5 gigabyte plan that's $15. Unlimited plan that's $25, but your first month with them is $12.50. And then you got a $40 plan. So the difference between that is a $40 plan gives you 12 gigs of mobile hotspot. They got more plans. Let's see all plans. Well, let me move this over here. Oh, here we go. I'll share with you guys the Boost Mobile page. Let's see what they have. Oh, look, they got the Moto G5G 2024. I don't see the Stylus 2024 yet. Boost Mobile, you can get the Moto Razr for $149.99, the Coach Prime Edition. Let's see, Solero. iPhone 12 for $200. We'll see. iPhone 11 for $150. Might as well just go iPhone 12. You got the stylus 2023. Oh, look at that. The Boost Summit Flip. That's kind of cool to have. Yeah, they don't have a lot of phones anymore. They don't do a lot of free phones. It's probably just because, like the company's hemorrhaging money and not really making money. Well, I'm interested in this flip phone here. So let me look at this Summit. So I'm gonna go on a whim and say that this has 4G LTE connectivity only. Let's see the screen, 2.8-inch display, 5-megapixel camera, 8 hours talk time. It runs Android, stock Android AOSP. I wonder if that outer display. So dual display, the external display on the phone allows you to eliminate the need to open the phone. Oh, so you can. Whoa. I might want to buy this phone just for the sake of buying it and just playing around with it. So it runs Android, and the outer display is touchscreen, so you can just use the outer display without having to open up the phone. And yeah. Let's see. Okay, so it's got a 2.8-inch display. I'm going to go on the whim and say that's the outer display they're referencing to. It's got a 2,000 milliamp hour battery. Processors, MediaTek 6739, clocked at 1.5 gigahertz. Run stock Android. It's got a 5-megapixel camera, 8 gigs of memory, Bluetooth 4.2, Wi-Fi 4, and Type-C connectivity. Supports up to 128 gigabytes of expandable memory with the SD card, not included. I might actually want to buy this phone just to fuck around with it. This is what I think that like dummy phones should be, like dumb phones. It should be that these days, right? Like some people still only really know how to navigate a phone using, the T9 texting and call and end button, directional pad, but you still got that outer display. And I wonder if the outer display brings up a keyboard so you can type. And you don't really need to open up your phone to respond to text messages. Like how much? Yeah, so really got to mess around with that. Like, I don't know. For 50, what was it, $50? What do you cost? $60. Yeah, that's interesting. 4G LTE is still capable. I don't know, would anyone get one of these? Just for shits and giggles? Not as a burner phone, not as a backup phone, emergency phone, but like to use as an actual phone. Would someone rock one of these? I don't know about you guys. Okay, but I'm a stupid nerd for mobile phones. I would buy this just for the sake of fucking using it, and I would use it as my daily driver. Wow, man, that shows my age. How crazy is that? Oh my god, that's funny. That is funny as hell. Anyways, I appreciate everyone for joining in and hanging out with me for this past hour. It's now 6:43 a.m. in the morning. I'm so tired because I was woken up. Before I go, I'll show you with you guys why I'm up so early. My youngest daughter, she didn't go to bed on time. She stayed up last night, and she suffered the consequences for staying up late. Apparently, she got freaked out at 3:50 this morning. She says that she saw a hand by her door and she felt something watching her. So she woke her older sister up because she was scared. And my oldest daughter was mad for being woken up from her sleep. So then they end up like calling my phone because they're afraid to get down from their bunk bed. So they woke me up at 4 in the morning, and I woke up, went into the room, did my dad duties, checked under the bed, checked in the closet. I let them know that they were safe. I brought Velvet, my German Shepherd, into their room to sleep in their room so they feel safer, and made sure they were able to fall asleep. Once she fell asleep, and I knew she was comfortable because she snores. She's just like me. She snores too. So once she fell asleep, then I just left the room and came to my room and couldn't go back to sleep. So that's why I did a live stream this early in the morning. Literally was just because I was woken up early. Um, yeah, I felt bad. Felt bad for her. I mean, obviously, she must have been watching something scary on her phone. Like, this is my youngest daughter who loves scary movies. Finally, the effects of watching so much scary movies kind of, got to her. So it's one of the joys being a dad. I'll tell you guys that much. But I'm probably gonna end up going back to sleep here for like another hour or so. That's probably the plan. I am going to be live streaming on the second channel with my sister today. At least that's what I think. She hasn't told me no. So today we're not really talking about any heavy, deep subjects. I think we're going to be talking about our favorite movies on the podcast today. So if you guys do want to be a part of that, you guys are subscribed to my second channel. Be there. It should be about like 12 noon my time, 3 p.m. East Coast time, and 9 a.m. Hawaii time is when we're going live together. So you know what? Like, our conversations take massive turns and routes in so many different ways. So, yeah, we might start off talking about movies. We might lead into music. But I do know today's not a heavy subject. We are having a heavy subject come down the road on the podcast, the Featurehead podcast, which is hosted by me and my sister. And there'll be one that we're going to touch into a very, very touchy subject. So, but I will let you guys know in advance what the subjects are and what we're going to be talking about, etc. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. Titus, thanks for coming in. Nian Dang, thanks for coming in as well. Michael, aka Joyce, that's San Joaquin Valley. Appreciate you for being here. Steve Mobile Tech, salute to you, sir. Thank you for dropping by and just hanging out. And for those that watch the replay, #replay crew, and tell me in the comments, do you think rebranding Boost Infinite as Boost Mobile will help save the company? Let me know. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, opinions, or emotional outbursts. Leave it all in the comment section of the video. Thanks for checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good rest of your Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everybody.